Okay, it's going to be a little bit longer video because I'm walking you through the tasks. So this is literally most of these slides are the tasks you'll see, and they have different resources. So I'm going to be talking about that. But we're coming back to those same 4 patterns that we started with our initial diagrams in our notebook. Sunrise, sunset, moon phase, phases, north star, and changes to constellations. Okay, that's what we're looking at today. So it's kind of a lengthy one. I don't expect you to finish this video today. I don't expect you to finish the tasks, but you should be able to start them. Okay. How can we learn about patterns in the sky? Well, natural observation, like the ancients did, right? We can look up in the sky and observe the patterns. Kind of the problem with that, it kind of takes a while. So we can use other tools. High-tech tools. We have a lot of high-tech tools now. And we can use resources like teachers, books, videos, okay? But the most important thing is that we collect information and then think for ourselves and make our own ideas. That's why we keep coming back to these diagrams and changing them and modifying them as we learn new things. Okay, so patterns in the sky. We watched these different sky pattern stories. First, we're going to talk about sunrise, sunset. Yes, that was Ra, the Egyptian sun god. And what we noticed, besides the solar eclipse, which we'll come to later in this unit, is that the sun moves across the sky. That's what his sunboat was describing. But in real life, the sun moves across the sky. Okay. There is, you have links to this in the video where you can literally watch this. So you can watch this in 2 forms. It's an 18-minute video. You're not going to watch the whole thing. But you're going to watch clips of it to watch the direction of the sun moving across the sky. Okay? There are 2 views from this. The first half of the video is like you're lying down in the grass. The second half of the video, at about 9 minutes, goes across like you're standing in a field looking at the horizon. Kind of more typically what we do. You can look at either one, but that's that video. Okay? And what are you thinking about? Where does the sun start and where does it end for direction and time? How long does it take? Okay? When you go into this video, you will see the timestamp there. Just click on here. Okay? Down here is the running time. It is in military time, so it goes through 24 hours. But you can see a starting and ending time. How long does it take? Okay? So you can use that for sunrise, sunset. Okay? Answering those questions. Then it asks you to diagram it. So this I'm coming out so you can see. You're gonna use the clip art and the words on the side to diagram the changes in the sky for the sun over time. That's all that's asking you to do there. Okay? Then, next we'll get to the next pattern in the sky, the North Star. This was the Navajo. The Navajo talked about constellations and the North Star. Let's focus on the North Star first. You're going to go back to this video. All of these have links. Okay? For North Star, I suggest you use this view. Okay? And I'm going to stop it right there. Hold on. And watch this. Watch this star. Everything else is moving except this star. Goes away in the daylight, comes back. This star. So when you're watching that, you're watching that star. What star do you think that is? I think you should know by now. That, okay? So that's how you're doing that, watching the North Star. But there's another resource you can use. This again is linked. This is the interactive sky chart. Okay? And what's going to be, I think, helpful for you to do in this is here. So I would start, remember the 2 seasons? I would start in like September, like the fall. So you change September, you can keep this year, it doesn't matter, or change it. Update. Click update. Okay. What you see in the sky, you might want to focus on what you see in the sky. You can see the different things here. This is Ursa Minoris. This is the North Star. Okay. This is Ursa Major. This is the Big Dipper. Okay. So in the fall, where we are and where the Navajo were, here's the North Star. Here's the Big Dipper. That was the man, right? And then you can change the month. So if I change the month, I notice it changes, right? I have to hit update each time. It's moving. Now notice, if I go to April and hit update, it's no longer there. I no longer have the Big Dipper. I do have Cassiopeia, right? That was the woman. And here is the North Star. The North Star is Polaris. So you can always find it. It's in the constellation Ursa Minor, but Polaris is the North Star. So notice, now in the spring, we don't have the man. We don't have the Big Dipper. We have Cassiopeia. And we can watch Cassiopeia move across the sky. You can do this with any constellations. I picked these two because those are the ones that we saw from the stories, right? So there's the interactive start, and then you're going to answer these questions about the North Star, okay? Now we're going to go to other patterns in the sky. Here is the Big Dipper, that was the man. Here's Cassiopeia, that was the woman. Here's the North Star, right? So yes, we talked about the North Star with the Navajo, but we also talked changing in constellations. And we're going to think about how do the constellations help people find their way if they're always moving. That was Moana. So using these for the North Star, using those same resources. I click back here, this and that, the video and the website. You should be able to now talk about how constellations change, okay, in the sky. I want you to talk about how do they change over like time, like months, like we just did. And then how do they change over one night? And the one night, this video might be helpful. Because when you click on this video, which I've now opened a million times, when I click on this video, I can see this is the looking up at the sky version, right? But when I'm doing one night, I can see them moving in one night. It's easier to see it over the course of one night than the other one, which is more over time. Okay, so use this website. It's a video, it's a YouTube video. Use this one for constellations in one night, and then answer the questions. Right. Finally, the moon. Like constellations, we have to look at over 2 time periods. We have to look over the course of a day and night, and we have to look over it over the course of longer than that, months and year. Okay. Same with the moon. So this was the Mayan moon goddess. This video did not give us a lot of good patterns, but it talked about kind of how it changed. It talked about they talked about it as these two god and goddesses in a relationship, right? But they talked about the relationship between the sun and the moon. Use this. We're going to watch this. When you watch this video, which I've opened 5 million times now, when you watch this video, I'm going to show you what the moon looks like because it's not obvious. Okay. In this view, okay, kind of sped up. Here, stop. This is the sun. This is the moon. Both out in the day. Interesting. See, now watch. When it goes to night, the sun goes away. This is still the moon. Okay? And then you can find them and watch them. So over the course of a day, there's the sun and the moon. And you can fast forward through this, watch the moon, but find those when they're in the day at the beginning of the video so you can see how that changes. It also goes in this one too, but sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. Use this one okay, as one thing you can use to track the sun and the moon. Okay, changes in the moon in one day, meaning how does it change its position in the sky. There are two other things besides that video you can use. Gizmos and this WGBH website. I'm going to show you this first. This is a link there. Right? I can click play and I can just watch that moon all day, moon and sun all day long, going like this, right? Okay. Oh, see? Sun and moon together. Okay, so you can watch that over the course of a day. You can do one day, right? It's going to give you a little bit more. You can do 1 hour. But that's what you can do with that one. The Gizmos is called Seasons, Earth, Moon, Sun. If you log into that, it gives you the similar thing to what the WGBH one does. It does give you a little bit more choices. Keep it facing south. It has the space view, which we're gonna do. But if you pause it, then you can change the sim speed. Watch the sim speed. Super fast, right? Like the sun is you can barely watch it going. That's probably too fast, right? But you can go back and change the sim speed to be a little bit, simulation speed is what that is, more regular, right? That's still fast, but at least you can see the movement over the sky. Okay, I would keep it in 2D view. I'd look at this, but this gives you time. You can change it over the course of months too, if you'd like to. Okay, so that is Patterns in the Sky. Two other resources you can use for one day. The moon in one day or one night. You're answering that. And then the moon over longer. Changes to the moon over time. Here we're going to be looking at shapes. We're going to look at this. You can use the same too. The video is not helpful for changes in the shape of the moon. These two are. You can use either of those and then answer these questions. And then finally, you are done. I know this was a long video. Okay. But you can also come back and look at parts of it. You can use this along with while you're doing it to hear the directions again. But all those links are here. This is literally your tasks. Okay. So you can just walk through it with the same thing and see all the links and answer the questions. After we do this, we're going to come back and talk about changing our diagrams. But right now, I just want you to focus on that. Okay? Good luck. Have fun. Be good.